Hey everyone, welcome to That's Good Denver. I'm your host Chris Romeo, and today I'll be doing a Week 16 NFL predictions for the season. And sorry if I'm talking a little quiet right now. There's people sleeping in my house right now, or at my mom's house. Um, so yeah, it's kind of an odd time to be doing my Week 16 predictions because like I'm doing it right after the Thursday night game tonight, which is the Jaguars and the Jets, and the Jags beat them 19-3. Jags defense looked really good. And the Jaguars look like they can definitely make it to the playoffs. But yeah, these will be my Week 16 predictions. And big shout out to my Denver Nuggets. They're the number one seed in the Western Conference right now. Jokic playing incredible. He had 40 points, 27 rebounds, and 10 assists. A 40-point triple double a couple nights ago against the Charlotte Hornets, and they beat the Memphis Grizzlies on Tuesday night, 105-91, to take number one seed in the West. But I'll talk about basketball and the Nuggets in another video. But yeah, let's get some Week 16 predictions for you guys. So, yeah, as you see, the Jaguars already beat the Jets earlier tonight, so we'll go to the second game. The Texans taking on the Titans in Houston. So Texans, they, struggled all year, obviously, and the Titans have struggled recently too. It looked like they were going to run away with the division for a while. Now they have the Jaguars, like we said, on their backs. And Ryan Tannehill is out for the season, rumors say, which is not good for the Titans. Um, but they're playing the Texans at home. I expect the Titans to win this one. It won't be easy without Ryan Tannehill, I don't think. Final scores, I think Titans win 27-17. Next up, you got the Bengals taking on the Patriots in New England. So the Bengals are red hot right now. Their offense is starting to click. They're starting to make a run for the division. I think they're in first place in their division. And meanwhile, the Patriots, they're 7-7. They're kind of struggling right now. Or they've kind of been up and down all year, I should say. But either way, I don't think Mac Jones is going to be able to keep up with Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and that loaded offense. I expect them to score a lot in this one. That's why the Bengals win in this one. Final score 31-16. Next up, we got the Raiders taking on the Steelers on Christmas Eve night. All these games are on Christmas Eve on Saturday, by the way, most of them at least. But Raiders are coming off a thrilling win against the Patriots. I forgot to mention how the Patriots blew that game at the end with that dumb lateral they had, and Chandler Jones walked it off for the win to get the Raiders that win. That was such a bonehead play by the Patriots. Yeah, and you would think they would just send it into overtime and stuff, but no, they just want to lateral it. Raiders taking on the Steelers. Both teams 6-8. Winner stays alive in the playoff hunt. Losers season's probably over. I'm gonna take Vegas to win this one. I hope the Steelers win, but I think Vegas will win. I just think they have more firepower with their offense. Final score, I have Raiders winning this one, 27-23. Then next up, you got the Chargers taking on the Colts in Indy. My friend Blake will be at this game, I'm pretty sure. He's a big Colts fan. They've had about just as disappointing of a season as the Broncos have. But the Chargers, they're starting to click with their offense now. They're starting to play well at the right time. Meanwhile, the Colts, they just gave up the greatest comeback in NFL history to the Vikings. They're up 33-0 and blew it. So that's why I'm taking the Chargers in this one. I just can't pick the Colts to win against a team like the Chargers. That's why I have the Chargers are winning this one, 30-20 to final score. Then next up, we got the Buffalo Bills taking on the Chicago Bears. This the Bills are playing really well right now. They're starting to look like one of the best teams in the league. Meanwhile, the Bears, they kind of went as expected. They're 3-11 right now, basically a flip flop. Bills are 11-3, fighting for number one seed. Bears are 3-11, playing for a draft pick. Um, I'm taking the Bills to win this one. Final score of the Bills winning this one, 34-21. I think Justin Fields will score some points in that with that Bears offense, but won't be enough to keep up with Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, and so on. Then next up, you got the Seattle Seahawks taking on the Kansas City Chiefs in Arrowhead. So the Seahawks, they're looking good for a while, but now they've had some injury problems. They're not playing as well right now, and they're starting to reel right now. The Chiefs are the same old Chiefs at 11-3, playing for a high seed in the AFC, and they already won the AFC West. Even though they've played close in games recently, they had a close game with the Texans and stuff. But I have the Chiefs winning this one. Final score 31-20. Next up, you get the Falcons taking on the Ravens in Baltimore. The Falcons, Desmond Ridder has not been looking good for them. They just lost to the Saints. Meanwhile, the Ravens, they've had some injury problems. I don't know if Lamar Jackson's going to be back this week, but I will take the Ravens with Tyler Huntley here. Final score 23-17. I'm only winning by a couple field goals. And, if Lamar Jackson doesn't play, wouldn't be surprised if Atlanta possibly pulls off an upset. But I'll take the Ravens in this one. Next up, you got the Saints taking on the Browns in Cleveland. Cleveland, they come up a gutsy win against the Ravens last week in a low-scoring, snowy, hard-fought game. The Saints, they came off a big win against the Falcons to keep themselves in the hunt for the division still. They can still win that division if Tampa loses out. But I'm taking the Browns to win this here. I think they have an all-around better team. Deshaun Watson's playing. They're still fighting for a playoff spot, in my opinion, which they are. And I have the Browns winning this one. Final score 27-24. Then next up, you got the Packers taking on the Dolphins in Miami. First game on Christmas. Dolphins, they've lost 3 in a row now. They're not looking good. The Packers, they're still fighting for a playoff spot at 5-8. They need to probably win out to get in. I'm taking the Dolphins at home here. I think they've been a better team this season with Tua and that high-flying offense. This is a good bounce-back game for the Dolphins. Meanwhile, the Packers, I think their season will come to an end. Aaron Rodgers will put up some points, won't be enough to keep up with Tua. The Dolphins win this one 31-24. Then next up, you got your Denver Broncos taking on the Rams in Los Angeles. Second game on Christmas. The Broncos, they finally won a game this past week. Finally, snapping their 5-game losing streak and getting a win with Brett Rypien against the Cardinals at home. Sorry, my friend Cardinal fans in Arizona, or my friends that are Cardinal fans in Arizona. We beat you guys. The Rams, they've struggled just as bad as the Broncos this year. They're the worst ever defending Super Bowl champ that I've seen at 4-10. This game could definitely go either way, but I'll take the Broncos to win this one. Kind of biased. I have the Broncos winning this one. Final score 16-13. I think it'll be a low-scoring, crappy game. And I think Russell Wilson would be playing, so that's why I'm taking the Broncos to get past Baker Mayfield and the Rams. Next up, you got the Giants taking the Vikings in Minnesota. This game, the Giants, this game could go either way, I guess, but I think the Vikings win this one. Even though the Giants won last week, I think the Vikings are substantially just a much better team, coming off the greatest comeback ever against Colts, and Kirk Cousins is looking very good. So the Vikings winning this one. Final score 34-20. Then next up, we get the Lions taking on the Panthers. Lions looking pretty dang good right now. They're 7-7. They're fighting for a playoff spot. Meanwhile, the Panthers are still fighting for their division because their division is so bad. Lions coming off a big gutsy win against the Jets last week. This game could definitely go either way, but I'm taking the Lions to win this one to go to 8-7. They're very looking very good right now. Final score, I have Lions winning this one 31-23. Next up, we got the Washington Commanders taking on the 49ers in San Fran. 49ers looks like they won I think they did win the division, the NFC West. The Washington Commanders are coming off a disappointing loss to the Giants at home. I think the 49ers are substantially better. They're a Super Bowl contender in my opinion. They're one of the favorites to come out of the NFC and go to the Super Bowl in Arizona this year. So that's why the 49ers winning this one. Final score of San Francisco winning this one 34-23. Then next up, you got the Eagles taking on the Cowboys in Dallas. This should be a great game. The Cowboys coming off a disappointing loss to the Jaguars with that walk-off pick six. The Eagles are 13-1 right now. They're looking very good. I'm actually going to take the Cowboys at home here. I expected the Cowboys and Eagles to split this season going in this year. I think the Cowboys will win this game, and the Eagles will still be fine at 13-2. But I think the Cowboys need this win more, and that's why I've been winning this one. I think it's going to be a shootout. Final score, I have the Cowboys winning 38-31. Then last game on Christmas, you got the Buccaneers taking on the Cardinals in Arizona. Cardinals had their season pretty much wrapped up with Kyler Murray getting hurt and stuff like that. Meanwhile, the Buccaneers, they're barely at first place in their division. At 6-8, they're holding on the division lead. If Buccaneers lose this game, that would be embarrassing, but I don't think they will. That's why I have the Bucs winning this one. Final score: Buccaneers won this 23-16. So those are my Week 16 NFL predictions. If my predictions were right, I would have the Bills at number 1, Dolphins at a playoff spot, Patriots season probably over at 7-8. Same with the Jets. Chiefs at number 2, Chargers at number 6, Raiders and Broncos. Raiders still fighting for a playoff spot, 7-8. Broncos unfortunately 5-10. Bengals in first place, Ravens second. Browns still fighting for a playoff spot, and then the Jags and Titans going for a playoff spot in the South. And Lions would be 8-7 for the first time this season. Vikings at 12-3, number 2 seed. Eagles at 13-2, number 1 still. Cowboys at number 5 probably have it clinched, and Washington Giants both fighting for that last playoff spot with San Francisco in first place, and shit show in the NFC South. The Bucs in first place, 7-8. They would actually clinch the division if I were right this week. And the rest of the division would be at 5-10. But yeah, that's it for my Week 16 NFL predictions. Sorry I haven't posted on this channel in a while with the predictions and NFL content. I've been pretty busy with work at Domino's. I've been working 40 hours a week. And, I've been, I just got done with finals a couple weeks ago. I'll be going back to school in about 2 weeks. But yeah, those are my Week 16 predictions. Like, subscribe, comment. Hopefully the Nuggets can keep playing well. Hopefully the Colorado Avalanche can keep playing well, because the Broncos are pretty disappointing this year, even though they won last week. But yeah, that's it, everybody. I'm Chris Romeo, and that's good, Denver. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, by the way.